Welcome back, everybody, for another installment of our remote learning here with Maine Fish and Wildlife. If you remember last time around, we introduced moose as a species and as a game animal here in Maine, and we talked a lot about the moose hunt, how it's a lottery system, and we got the Maine moose harvest analysis kicked off by working on our harvest maps last time. Hopefully, since last time and today, you've finished your harvest map and color coded it. You've put in the number of moose harvested versus the number of permits awarded in each district, as well as color coded the districts by success rate. I went ahead and finished mine too, and there you have it. Now yours should look a little something like that. We can tell just glancing at this map that the majority of the moose permits and the highest success rates are awarded to those northernmost districts across the northern half of the state. That kind of central to eastern Maine offers some pretty marginal moose hunting success rates, and then that southern swath through central and southern Maine there, they offer a very limited amount of moose permits with very low success in those areas that are pretty marginal moose habitat as it is. Remember, moose are found at the extreme southern end of their range here in Maine. They really can't withstand warmer temperatures than we have here in Maine. So northern Maine is kind of like that southern extent of their range. And as we move further and further north toward the pole, we find moose all throughout the biomes above us. So just remember, our moose population is kind of vulnerable being at that southern extent of their range here in Maine. So today's goal is to work on a bar graph that's going to illustrate, it's going to further break down these districts by the number of permits given, and then within that, the type of permit that are awarded in each district. And when we're done, we're going to have a really interesting document to look at that's going to do an awesome job of illustrating which districts are giving the most permits, what types of permits they're given, and then we can think about it, analyze that graph, and answer these questions below, and think about what that means for management goals from the state within each district. Remember, the state's able to micromanage our moose harvest by essentially controlling the number of permits awarded and the number of moose harvested within each wildlife management district. So, one of the interesting parts today is I've already previously filmed a YouTube video on how to make this graph. That link is in the assignment, but I'm going to go ahead and show you again today. So it's kind of a double whammy. If you're extra confused, you can check that link as well. Just want to reiterate, we had some confusion maybe from quite a few folks on the Maine deer harvest analysis. The expectation is that you build this graph in pages as I've done. Not looking for a hand-drawn graph here. I am expecting you to build this graph digitally in pages, which I know we all have on our iPad. So that's the expectation. Let's get right down to it. Let me go open up Pages here. Where's my Pages app? Where are you, Pages? Oh, geez, there we go. Updated my iPad. They all moved around on me. So within my Pages app here, I'm going to add a blank document. I'm going to do landscape here. And within this blank document, I'm going to hit the plus symbol, and I'm going to select that little graph option up here. I want to add a graph, but I'm specifically going to pick that green and blue one in the upper right-hand corner, the stacked bar graph. Stacked bar graphs are awesome because they're actually just like a series of pie graphs. Each bar represents its own little data set, and then it's further broken down from there. So when we plug that in, what we end up with initially is a stacked bar graph that compares a couple different regions by month of the year. It has nothing to do with what we're doing, so we need to get right down to it and fix this. Before I start messing with the data, though, you know what? It bothers me that this graph does not have a title. So I'm going to add a title. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go to the paintbrush for my graph, and I'm going to select title and turn that on. And now I can edit and create a title. And you know what? While we're here, we've got title turned on. I'm going to go to the, let's see, chart. Nope, not edit data. We got to turn our axis labels on. Let's see if we can figure out. Oh, yeah. So let's go under style. And on the y-axis there, I'm going to turn axis name on. And for x-axis, I'm going to turn axis name on as well. Now I have a really well set up chart here that's going to be really good looking when I get this thing all done. So here we go. Let's close out of our paintbrush. I'm also going to move this key kind of down out of the way right here. I like the looks of that quite a bit. So here we go. Let's go back to our assignment in Notability. Move this over here. Let's go back to our assignment in Notability. And we can use this data and start to work our way through this assignment here. So we're going to look in, and with each WMD that awards moose permits, we're going to put in the total number of each type of permit for that WMD. And here's where we got to pay kind of close attention. So starting out with District 1, I can see there that we gave out a total of 400 permits in District 1 in 2018. Here's the tricky part we got to pay attention to. There were actually 300 of them were what we call BOPs, or bull-only permits. And then there were an additional 100 AOPs, or antlerless only permits. Now, pay attention to what I did there. I just combined the two BOP types of permits for that district. What you'll see is there was a week in September where 150 people got a bull-only permit, and then there was another week in October where 150 people got a bull-only permit. So keep that in mind. We're going to combine those two BOPs, and they're going to be 300 total. So what I can do here is I can swipe back, go back to my Pages app, and now I'm going to hit Edit Data. And instead of regions, I'm going to put in the permit types. I'm going to put in BOP for bull-only permit. I'm going to put in AOP for antlerless only permit. And then I'm going to put in AMP, which stands for any moose permit, which are those permits that are given in maybe 3 or 4 districts in southern Maine. We're not going to see many of those until we get out to the very end of this graph here. So here we go. And then I'm going to put in the districts up here instead of months of the year. I'm going to put in the actual districts where moose permits are awarded, and there's going to be a decent number of them. Here we go. So I know there's moose permits awarded in every district, I think through 19, and then we start having some issues. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now I'm going to go back and check my data real quick. 19, yep. And then so we're going to stop at 19, and then we'll put in, they actually combined, if you notice on the map, they combined 27 and 28 into one large district. That's this guy down here. It's that little coastal strip in eastern Maine, as well as the skinny one there. So 14 out of 30 was our success rate. But they actually combined 2 districts for the hunt. That one along the coast used to be a really tough one with people that would get drawn for that one. So we're going to stop at 19, and then the one other district that they gave was 27/28. That was the final district for the moose hunt there. We're just not going to include the districts that don't award any permits. And remember, they wouldn't award permits because there's just not any moose to hunt there. I'm going to delete this random data out of here, that the state that they put in there, so we can put in our real stuff here. So we already looked at District 1. We said District 1 had a total of 300 bull-only permits between the 2 bull-only seasons in September and October. And then later on in October, they gave out 100 more antlerless only permits. So let's go back to our data here, and we can quickly go through. And I'm going to do a handful of these with you, and then I'll set you free and let you finish. But let's look at District 2. Again, I'm going to combine the 2 bull-only seasons. There's actually a total of 250 bull-only permits between 125 in September and 125 in October. And then again, they add on 100 of those antlerless only permits. That's where they're looking to harvest adult cows. So they may be even trying to reduce population there. So what do we say? 250 and 100. Let's go right here. In District 2, we have 250, 100. Let's go back and look at District 3. District 3, we're going to have fewer permits here. They've got 75 bull only in September, 75 bull only in October, and then another 75 antlerless only. So it's going to be 150 bull only permits, 75 antlerless only. Let's take a look at District 4. A couple different bull only seasons. I see 250 bull only permits and another 100 antlerless only. So I'm going to go 250 and 100. All right, let's check District 5. I see 100 September bull only permits, another 50 in October, and then 50 antlerless only. So that's going to be 150 bull only permits and then 50 antlerless only. District 6, same deal. We've got 150 bull only permits and then 25 antlerless only. So 150 and 25. Fewer antlerless only permits there, likely, fewer moose, and they're trying to maintain that population a little better by, not harvesting as many females. Let's go to District 7. Now we're starting to get into some districts here, the next handful, that really only issue bull only permits, and they only have that October hunt, or maybe only a September hunt. Or in the next 3 are just in October. So if I look, District 7, there's only one hunt. There's a bull only permit given in October, a total of 125 of them. So District 7, easy, 125. District 8, they give out 175 bull only permits in October, and that's it. That's the Jackman region there. District 8, 175. Go back to District 9. Again, we're back down to 75 permits given, October only. And maybe I'll skip out and I'll show you just to make sure there's no confusion on the any moose permits before I set you guys free to finish on your own. Pretty brief day today, just getting that graph done and answering those questions, and that's all we have to do today. So let's take a look at our districts that give an any moose permit. I'll do all 3 with you. I think there's 3. Let's look. Oh, there's only 2, I guess. They're There's only 2 antlerless or any moose permit districts. Those are districts 15 and 16. So if we look right here, District 15 gives a total of 25 any moose permits, and District 16 gives a total of 20 any moose permits. So 15, we said, I'm going to do the AMP row there, and we know District 15 gives 25, 16 gives 20. Remember, you guys need to do the data for District 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, and that combined district of 27 and 28. But I'm just going to check what mine's looking like right now. And right off the bat, this isn't done yet, but I can quickly glance at this and go, okay, I can see, districts 1 through 6, as of right now, are the only districts that are giving any sort of antlerless only permits, where the goal is probably to harvest some females and reduce the overall number of moose, or at least keep it steady. The other districts were harvesting males only for the most part, and that's a way of trying to maintain moose numbers while also offering a hunt for, again, food and recreation, economic boost to the region. There's lots of different reasons we hunt moose: to reduce moose car collisions, all those things. And I guess before I let you go here, we'll talk about labeling this graph and making sure we have correct labels. First things first, let's do our x-axis. If I double tap down there, I can label this. We know that the bottom there, 1 through 27, 28, those are wildlife management districts. And over here on my y-axis, I can label those, let's say, moose permits awarded. Remember, there's a lot of math that goes into this. When they give out, let's say, District 1 there, giving out 400 moose permits, they know they're using success rates from previous years and population models to estimate roughly how many moose will be harvested. The expectation is not to have 400 moose harvested. We have to keep that in mind. It's actually going to be lower, and they know that for every district. For every district, they probably have a different model that predicts, okay, if we want to harvest this many moose, we need to give out, this many more permits than moose harvested to hit that target just about right. It's a lot of gambling involved in wildlife management. They have to use mathematical models to make these predictions before they give out the permits. So finally, let's do our title. I can tap twice on the title up there, and we can edit this. Remember, we always want to make it nice and specific so the reader knows exactly what they're looking at. We want to give the who, what, when, and where. So we're looking at, let's call this Maine Moose Permits awarded by WMD and type. Well, let's say by type and WMD. by type. Oh, my font is getting all messed up here. By type and WMD. And I'm going to put in parentheses here 2018 so the reader knows what year our data is coming from. So here we go. You guys have just a handful of districts to do on your own. I did about half of this graph with you today. If you're having any confusion along the way, make sure you pause the video, go back and watch what I did. Shoot me an email with any kind of questions. But again, the expectation is that this graph is built digitally in Pages using the procedure that I laid out for you today. Not going to be accepting hand-drawn graphs on this assignment. I guess I didn't make that quite clear enough on the last one on the main deer harvest analysis. But yeah, again, any questions, use this video as a tool. Shoot me an email. I'm here to help you. Looking forward to getting you guys back together in class. As we wrap up our mammals unit next week, we're going to start thinking about amphibians and reptiles, which are going to be waking up here soon. And we'll be hearing them outside of our houses, and that's going to be exciting to start thinking about their calls and those sounds that we're hearing and being able to identify them. So hang in there and use me as a resource with any questions. We'll see you guys next class.